So yeah, this is going to be I don't know what they're actually called, but it's gonna be kind of like an elevator with like air shooting upwards. Um, Kind of like in Dark Souls. I forgot what they're called, but like yeah, there were like these like um those areas where I don't even know how to explain it. All right, yeah, we're just gonna call them air elevators, and we'll figure it out as we go. I'm not known for naming things well, but it'll have to do. So this is gonna have to work differently from like our springs and everything. I think we're gonna consistently have to add like velocity to our player, um, as if like air was pushing towards it. So like it might just be slightly greater than um, our gravity, and then well, let's just mess around with it. I'll probably do something like here. Let's just start adding the code now. Um, if this area is a player, we'll just say player node. All right, it's that simple. And then we'll add another function called lift player. And we'll probably want to run this in the physics process. Yeah. Or we could do it similar to how we did it with our boxes, where we did it like in increments of like 0.25 or yeah 0.25. So it would add velocity, the player would go up, and then after another 0.25 seconds, we'll add another, I don't like 50 pixels to the motion or something like that. We'll try it in the physics process for now. And honestly, it doesn't have to be a player. We could actually put this in any object. So, like, let's say we push a box there, it would push the box upwards as well. Um, you can get pretty creative with it. But yeah, for now, we'll just leave the player in. We'll actually just say lift object here in case we want to actually lift node. And we'll do player dot motion dot y minus equals. Let's try 10 for now. Okay. Um. So it should work like this. Also, another thing we want to do is just make sure that we're removing it from the area here. Yo, what's up, Juho? I told myself I wouldn't stream on weekends. It's Sunday today, right? Yeah. I told myself I wouldn't stream on weekends, but I don't know. I felt icky, like I wanted to get something done. So here we are. So yeah, it should work like this. I don't know if it's gonna work well, and we don't have any like animations for it yet. It's just gonna look, it's just gonna look like this. 1, 2, 3. This is pretty tall. Okay, and I think, yeah, we'll leave it like this. All right. I really need to start making some new rooms because like this is getting kind of hectic. We'll put it here. Have a nice open area to test out this mechanic. Why only stream on weekdays? Mainly, it's so I don't get burnt out. Minute for the long run, you know. But either way, I mean, like I don't even stream that much. Like I mean, it's not like I'm streaming 12 hours a day or something like that. But ideally, it would be nice if I was like I want to stream, you know, for longer periods of time, or at least longer, or like multiple times during the day. All right, so see, this honestly looks pretty good. This is exactly what I wanted. Probably a little bit more powerful. Maybe like the initial jump into it would like bring us up higher, and we'll probably increase that area by like a little bit more too. Let's go back here. Probably say like let's try -20. And let's go back here and just lift this up a bunch. What's our max? Rectangle is it's an odd number here. Should be like that. We'll do our typical height is 180 in length, so let's do half of that, 90. Something like that. Actually, we'll round it off to 89. Actually, no, 88. Whoa, that's a little too powerful. And okay, and then another issue is that this is going to happen where like basically gravity is pushing us down, and then the separate function from this is like keeping us level right here. I think what I wanted to do is like maybe we will have a timer, and that timer would be like 0.5 seconds, and like every time the timer goes off, it'll like switch it on and switch it off. That way we have like longer increments of like it going all the way up and all the way down. We'd have to figure out like I think we want to do it based on we might want to change like this hitbox from time to time. I don't know. Let me think. Also, if we dash into it, we'd be like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, but I think we're gonna add a timer here. We'll do it every 0.5 seconds for now. See how that goes. Should it be? It shouldn't be auto start. What we'll do is we'll make it reactivate every time the player is entered. So over here, let's just add bar. Will I ever do videos on the channel like devlogs? I would like to. I remember the thing is, it just takes so much time. It's like making a video about like the progress you've made on a game takes literally the same amount of time to like actually do the mechanics. So like if I wrote a video on, you know, all of this stuff, it would literally take just as long. What is nice is that I am recording all of this stuff like right now, and so like it's all archived onto YouTube. So like I could technically just, you know, cut all of these videos and put it into a nice little devlog. It's just, I don't know. I have so many things on my plate. It's hard. I would love to though. On ready var. What were we doing? Timer. And yeah, I remember like I did a devlog on my first game. Actually, I never even released it just because I was also kind of embarrassed. This was earlier when I first started. Like, I didn't even stream. I was just working on videos. And I don't know, like, I'm kind of critical about myself. So I would, like, I don't know. Like, I would kind of cringe at myself. I know it's not, like, you know, we are, like, our worst critic. So, like, you know, obviously the things that I see in myself, other people won't see, but yeah, that's something that I would have to get like over with. Because like I remember I tried really hard to make a nice video, but then at the end of it, I put all this effort into it, and then I was like, it seems like I'm trying too hard or something like that, and so I never even posted the video. So I need to find like my personality, if that makes sense, online. Like I hate like trying to copy others, but then if I don't copy anyone, then I'm like a boring personality to even follow with a devlog. Like with streaming, I can like I would assume I'm as like as real as I can get. But if I'm making a video in hopes of like, I don't know, like getting views or something like that, I think it would change my personality for the worse. But I don't know. I've never really done it, so there's only one way to find out. But I think because I've had all this this time to like I've been streaming for like over a year now, mostly on Reddit. But yeah, it's been pretty nice there. It's like, you know, I'm comfortable around the people that watch my stream. On timer timeout. What are we doing here again? Oh yeah, we're gonna have to have another variable called let's just call it add velocity maybe. And for now it'll be true. And then in physics process, what we'll say is add if add velocity, this is when we lift the player. And what we'll do here on this timer timeout is add velocity just equals not equals not add velocity. Yeah, with stream, I see a lot of YouTubers that do that. Like they'll stream on Twitch and then they'll just clip it and then put it on YouTube. But I think editing it would be the hardest part, because like right now we're kind of just like, you know, free form. I'm just winging everything. There's usually never like a set plan when I start streaming. Like I'll write like, hey, let me work on this elevator or like on this new mechanic, but it's kind of like, you know, if it doesn't work, then I just scrap it, or I wing it, and I'll just say, hey, that's good enough, let's go on to the next mechanic. Whereas with a clip or like with a YouTube video or a devlog, there needs to be more structure, in my opinion. On area exited, we also want to make sure add velocity. We want to reset it, so add velocity is equal to true. And also, on area entered, we want to make sure that the timer restarts. We want to say add velocity is equal to true. This will be just our double. It'll be a little redundant, but just to make sure that add velocity is true, because if we do exit, if we exit this node, the timer will still start, and then add velocity will be set back to true. So actually, technically, we don't need it here. We just need to make sure that it's true here when we enter it again. And then we'll do add velocity dot start. And we also want to make sure, okay, yeah, it's not one shot, so it'll start here and then add velocity. Oh, wait. Timer dot start and then timer dot stop. Yeah, that's true too. Like even in some of my favorite YouTubers, you can, like, if you go back to their previous videos, you can see like one, they didn't have nearly as much confidence. They're not as like charismatic and stuff like that. All right, so every 0.5 seconds this should work. Add velocity is going to equal every 0.5 seconds. I think that's my only issue at the moment. I don't know if this is going to work how we want it, but we'll see. So right now it seems to have like the same exact effect. Let me think. Give me 1 second. Just want to do something. Yeah, he is floating. And I'm honestly not even sure what sort of mechanic we want just yet, because like, or like what exactly we want. Because like right now he's like static in like one area. I'm assuming it's like around here. What I think we could do is when velocity is equal to false, we'll set the timer or the wait time to like maybe 0.25 seconds, and then when it is true, we'll set it back to 5 seconds. We want to make sure that we bring the player all the way up, or we could do it so that it only sends the player up once, and then the second he's off, you have to wait like an entire full second. Like you can only use this mechanic once. You could also do that. Let's just try it. So, match. Let's do this. Velocity. Oh yeah, match at velocity. So what we'll do for if add velocity is equal to true, we'll set the timer to our wait time to 1 second. Timer dot wait time is equal to 1. And then if it's false, actually maybe we want to split. We want to reverse these. So this will be 0.5 and this will be 1. Alright, let's try it. So it seems like it doesn't even matter. Like, we keep ending up here. So let me just look at this timer again. Lift node, clear that motion. If add velocity. So let me just print this. You know what it is? Wait. No. I used to have the debug printing in the game so that you guys can see actually what I'm doing. Let me do that really quick. So yeah, like right now it's always true, so setting it to false doesn't seem to work. Yeah, definitely. We are our worst critics most of the time. Oh yeah, social media definitely doesn't help. Yeah, you can't compare yourself to like, I mean, like obviously people are like, they're showing their best self on the internet. So like, whenever they've made like, fantastic uh they've made an achievement or something, they'll share it on the internet, and then like, if it gets a bunch of views or a bunch of upvotes, that's the first thing you see from like the algorithms and stuff. So like, yeah, it could be a little discouraging. But yeah, the best thing you want to do is like compare your work to your previous work, and that's the only thing you should be focusing on. Give me 1 second. I just want to do something really quick. All right. Started making music at the same time. At that same day yesterday. Nice. What sort of you have any links to the music you've been working on? So add velocity is equal to not add velocity on this timer timeout. It doesn't seem. Let me see. Timer. Okay, so yeah, our timer is not resetting. Oh, you know why? Let me see something. No, we only have it on one shot. I mean, we don't have it on one shot, so I wonder why it's not. It's not like restarting every time. I mean, what we could do here is that on the timer timeout is if player does not equal null. It's a little unfortunate that we have to do this. I don't know why. So that's a little closer to what we want. It is a little inconsistent though. Part of that reason is because we do have gravity on the player, so like gravity's accelerating, and that might be an issue here. Let me see how we handle gravity for our player. Motion.y plus equals gravity times delta. So I think gravity is like 0.7 or something like that. So it honestly, it really shouldn't matter. We should actually multiply this by delta. So this would make it, we'd probably have to increase this by like 200 or something like that. All right, we have to rethink this. Let me start over. You know what I'm gonna try to do? I'm gonna try to do it without any velocity. Or what we'll do is, instead of putting it in our physics process, we'll give our player like. All right, let's think about this. We're gonna remove this for now. Make this one shot. You know what? We're even going to ignore the timer for now. Let's see if we can do something about. What we'll do for the timer is that if the player is in this like this lift node, we'll say timer.start. It'll add velocity to the player for like 2 seconds maybe, and then it'll stop. And the only way you can activate it again is we'll add another collision box to this elevator here, and then like this is what actually makes it push the player up. Technically, we won't even need. Actually, no, we still need this area here, but let's try it again. What is the meaning of game dev? Do you mean like a metaphorical meaning or like the literal meaning? Because all game dev is game development. So like, you know, like software development, stuff like that. It's the same thing. Did I make the music for the game myself? No. I found online assets. And eventually I'd like to have some custom music. I've messed around with like some DAWs to try to make music myself, but I'm terrible at it. But it is a lot of fun. Like what I was thinking of doing is like adding mini sounds. So like, you know, like let's say you beat a level or something like that, I could play like a small tune. But when it comes to like composing an actual song, yeah, I can't do that. So what's the philosophical meaning of game dev? I mean, I guess they go hand in hand with what Juho just asked, which is like, what's the meaning of life? I mean, it's just like, I see game dev as like an art. So like, you know, it's obviously like, you know, subjective. You just put what you like, or like how you see the world, and then you put it into your game. It's exactly like writing a book or creating, like a piece of art or writing music. It's the same thing. So I mean, if you enjoy video games, you enjoy making video games, you should do it. And that goes hand in hand with like, you know, the meaning of life. Just do what you want. There's actually on the Lex Friedman podcast, they're always talk like one of his like number one questions that he asks his guests is what do they think the meaning of life is? And you get like a whole bunch of responses, but most of the time, I mean, the thing is he like interviews a bunch of like, you know, computer science nerds who like they usually have some sort of ego, and they'll be like, oh, life is meaningless, like that question is dumb or something like that. But it's all perspective, right? Like everyone's gonna have their own meaning in life. Yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like like the meaning of life, it like for me at least is like, you know, finding that meaning. So that's that. The question is like within itself, right? Or the answer to the question is within itself. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, if you didn't enjoy game dev, you shouldn't be doing it. Unless, obviously, some people do it as a career path, which is a little different. But also, game dev is like the least profitable field, like within like programming or software development. So if you're actually trying to make money, you should go into like finance or something with your programming knowledge, because like, you know, banks and I don't know, like those types of industries would pay you a whole lot more than game dev, unless you make it really big. But obviously, that takes a lot of luck. Yeah, exactly. Challenging yourself. I don't know if you guys like I'm pretty active in this like I'm really into stoicism, and so like I'm on this like stoicism server, and they've been like it's been pretty helpful. I mean, like I don't know, like usually people are dead set on the philosophy on they have that they have on their life. I mean, as you get older, you're going to like just reinforce those values. Like so, whatever you've experienced in life, you start developing your own philosophy. I don't know, like I guess you could say at 18, or I mean, it could be younger, but you start thinking about things, and then you try applying the things that you learn to the current values you have, and yeah, that turns out to be your philosophy. But stoicism kind of like agrees with the things, or with my opinions. I'm kind of rambling. Apologize for that. Yeah, if you want money, you gotta focus on something that's more practical, but you probably won't enjoy nearly as much. It's all subjective. Like me personally, I like making indie games. I don't think I'd ever want to work for like a AAA just because I've seen their working conditions. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds for me? Like if I had a kid or something, I'd probably stop doing game dev or like indie game dev. I'd probably focus on getting a job first. Yeah, you learning something specialized. So yeah, I'm getting a little distracted. I don't think this mechanic is working just yet. We did have it working, but it's not ideal yet. So let's try this again. All right. If add velocity is equal to true here. An area exited. Timer. Let's remove this from the equation. What's weird is okay, so this is working, but maybe player.motion minus equals. Yeah, the thing is, if we are in the idle state, this might not work. And then I want to say sorry again, Ranjan. Oh, and hey, as well. I've kind of been rambling. So right now I'm working on this little like air elevator kind of thing, but it's not that nice yet. Yeah, you see, the thing here is if we already have a velocity going into this, it won't speed us up nearly as much. So I'm trying to make like a consistent jump for us. Well, what we'd have to do is on player entered, we want to make sure that our velocity is equal to, or our player motion is equal to 0. Let's go back here. So that'll make everything consistent. Oh, and Ranjan, you're not distracting me. I'm just trying to have a conversation and code at the same time, and it's hard to multitask. But I enjoy the conversations. All right, so at this moment, what's happening here is we have gravity on the player, and then this motion here. The thing that I find weird though, is that we're constantly, let me print out the player motion here. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm trying to go for, Ranjan. If you've ever played Elden Ring, they have like these little air things that like push you up, kind of like that. But because we're making a platformer, it has to be a little bit more consistent. and I haven't like determined what's like the best way to go about it just yet. Wait, let's try this again. Negative 57, negative 48. You know what's weird here is that our velocity is negative 57, so it should be pushing us up way more. But it seems like our gravity might be, I don't know. It's like fighting against it. But it's weird because all of our like the only thing. Oh wait. Yeah, wait. Yeah, if state does not equal slide or state does not equal climb, our motion plus equals gravity times delta, which gravity is like what, like 7 or something. So we should be falling a lot higher. But we also have this total gravity. Where is it? Hey, how's it going, Neo? Oh yeah, I've had a gaming addiction, like even throughout the process of making this game. When applying movement speed downwards, cap it. So I actually do cap it. See right here, if motion.y is greater than 175, motion.y is equal to 175. So that's our max gravity, but we're not even hitting that. Like we're jumping around between. You guys can barely see it on my stream here. You know what I'm gonna do, really quick? Usually when I'm let's bring this window up. Let me run the game really quick. So I'd like for you guys to see my output. Do something like that. Just edit the transform here. Let's do 900. That's too much. I think that would be good. There we go. So you guys can see what's being printed. So you had the same issue, and that was the fix. My player did the same thing, and it was scary. It was scary same. Okay. So I think the best thing you got to do. Oh, okay, I'll see you, Juho. But yeah. Just so you don't feel like I'm ignoring you, I think the best thing to do is just like try to create like some consistency with game dev. If you are like truly like passionate about it or something like that, you know, like even when I hate like when I dread my day, I'll still try to do some game dev just to like it's more about, it's not about the motivation, it's about keeping that consistency, which is like it's more disciplined than anything else. But yeah, I'll see you around. So, Runjin, you said that capping the gravity. The thing is, our gravity isn't. I don't know. Should I be disabling gravity when we're colliding with this? I wanted to keep gravity there because, like, it just makes the most sense. Like, you know, if you're, like, in terms of physics, if you are colliding with this object, you should Gravity is still technically being applied to you. I'll see you, Juho. Direct to hardware music trackers like MPT. I've never heard of that actually. What exactly? I don't even know what direct to hardware music means. Also, I'm getting this. Hopefully, our stream is still running because I just got an error. Let me just make sure. Alright, yeah, it's still working. Alright. So it seems... Let's see again. Alright, let's try this one more time. I'm actually gonna slow our game a bit. We'll set our physics process to like run half the time, or our time scale to 0.05 or 0.5. So instead of being digital music, it uses the hardware directly to produce the sound. Trackers allow you to do it cross-platform. I mean, but like, what exactly is the benefit from using hardware? Okay, so over here, you can see it's still jumping around like crazy. Let me try this again. Oh, so this is what I think is okay. What I believe is happening here is this is the top of our hitbox. I should have enabled it so we actually know where we are. I'll have to restart it again. Might be a little laggy. Alright, so we got shot up, and then, yeah, this is where it happens. Okay. And what's happening here is, because the player is entering the hitbox again, we're setting our motion equal to 0, and then gravity is being applied, and then, yeah, we keep hitting this, so, yeah, it's gonna look like that. So what's the best approach? You get more of a retro sound, I see. So is it like one of those... I remember watching people... I don't know if it's the same thing, but I remember like people making sounds with hardware. It sounds like more raw, obviously. Our game kind of has a combination of both, like 8-bit sounds and like modern sounds. I haven't really been too like strict about it, but I do think I want to use more like digital sounds, like higher quality sounds. So if this is the case here, I don't know, man. Maybe we shouldn't make this hitbox so large. Maybe it should just be down here, all the way in the bottom. could be wrong, but it may offer better performance. I don't know. I'm not sure if it would. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like it wouldn't offer too much performance since most people have like sound cards. So like I feel like that would handle most of the sound, unless you were. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I think we're just going to try to not use like a huge hitbox. Um, that might be the best bet. But if that's the case, then we're going to want to just add velocity to the player. There still might be a timer that checks for like how long we want to shoot the player up. And the only thing is though, if we enter this hitbox again, we still want to add velocity to the player because like right now it's kind of like a jump pad rather than like air shooting out. Honestly, we might just stick with a jump pad just because it's easier. There'd be no difference between this and a spring, really. Oh yeah, and this happens. We'd have to increase the velocity too. So what we'd have to do instead? Man, I don't know. This is hard. We'd also have to mess with the player states right now because you can either jump like because this is acting independently from our player. Like right now, we could either be in the fall state or in the jump state when we hit this jump pad thing. So if you're in the fall state, obviously gravity's being applied either way. But we'd want the player to be in the jump state if this is happening. Oh man, there's so many things to consider. Let me try one more thing. Let's double this, or multiply it by 10. So yeah, we're always in the fall state when this happens. No, the more I think about it, maybe I'll just make this a jump pad, just to make our lives easier. What we could also do is have our timer check how long it's been since the player's been in this thing. And to make it even more intricate, what we could do is check the distance between our player and this jump pad, and then that would set the velocity because we want it to be like really consistent. Right now it's literally just like a spring without any sounds or anything like that. right now it's obviously way too strong. Let's think. I'm going to remove visible collision shapes. All right, we just gotta keep. I'm like, I keep spending too much time thinking and just not enough time doing. So I'm gonna try it one more time with. Maybe we'll do 2 hitboxes. Um, let's try this one more time. All right. So if the player enters it, we want to give them some sort of consistent velocity to bring them to the top. I think the second they exit this hitbox, we should give a little bit more velocity to add that like that sort of like final jump thing. But we also want to make sure it's at the end of like at the top here, or do we want to make sure that it could happen here? So like if we exited right here, it would shoot us up just a bit, like just to reach that point there. Let's try it. So let's go back to this. We'll leave it as motion minus equals negative 2000 times delta. On area exited, what we'll do is player dot motion dot y is equal to, let's try negative 175. It's a little slow, and this works a little better. Yeah, actually, I think this is perfect. We won't know until we actually add it as a mechanic, but this is the sort of thing I was going for. So, like, while the player is inside, we add some velocity, but if they exit that hitbox, we add a little bit more, which is like 175, and then that's it. The only thing now is that, like, if we're on top of it, there's no way for us to go back down. Like, it's always doing this. Oh, but what we could do is instead of like messing around with when to add velocity to the player, we can just add a hitbox. I mean, we can add a timer to our hitbox that basically just disables and enables it after 0.5 seconds. I think that'll probably be best. We just need to make sure that if we are disabling the hitbox, that we aren't resetting the player's velocity when we enter it. So before I do anything else, another thing I'm going to do is not set our velocity to 0 here. If it works just as well like this, I think we're in a good spot. Yeah. Okay. If we dash in, same exact thing. There's one other thing that's wrong with this, I think, is that if we dash, maybe it's not a problem. Let me add some particles to this so that it actually looks cool. some chicken meatballs, 3.4% protein. Chicken meat is 25% plus. Yeah, that is strange that it's only three. Do you know what that is in grams? I've never. Usually, like at least in the United States, they don't they don't do it in percentages. It's usually just the amount of grams. Mission shape, we'll do a rectangle. The rectangle extents are going to be, let's try 8. No, let's do 16. And the time for it to reach up here, 2. It's a little too high. 1.5. Something like that. And let's do 20. $25 grams of protein. That seems like, yeah, that's like the typical amount. Like eating 2 chicken cutlets, you should expect around 25 kilograms. I mean, 25 grams of protein. Yeah, I think. Runjin lives in the UK, so I'm not sure like how they. I'm from the US, so yeah, we usually get it in gram. I don't think I've ever seen it in percentages. If they do show it in percentages, it's usually just like on the front of like the packaging. But like in the the nutrition table, it usually says like everything in grams. But yeah, everything is processed. Half of it is bread, most of the time. Yeah, that is pretty scary. Is 100 grams a serving? Like that's one serving? Because if that's the case, yeah, it's definitely. Does it taste like chicken, or does it taste like, I don't know if you've been to McDonald's, but like McDonald's chicken is like half bread or whatever they put into it. So yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I think we're gonna add like some sort of glowing effect to it as well. Oh, more crabs than protein. Oh, I see. Oh, more crabs. Weird. They had. Are you saying crabs like the animal crabs? I think crabs also have like a decent amount of protein in them. Well, I feel like crabs are usually not in processed foods. Like they usually have like fake crab. Like you can go to the supermarket and it'll say it's crab, but it's actually just a combination of fish. But it tastes like crab. I never complained about it. Oh, carbs. Yeah, if it's carbs, then yeah, it's definitely like bread, like some sort of wheat. That's usually like their substitute. You gotta put some like protein protein powder on your meatballs. Speaking of protein powder, have you been working out? I didn't work out yesterday or today. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm feeling so icky today, or like feel like something's wrong. All right, yeah. So I think we'll keep it the way it is. We might want to mess around with the player states. I'm also gonna see how it looks like if we add multiple of these. Oh yeah, let's definitely. Maybe I don't know how busy you are this week, but we could set something up. Oh yeah, I need to start doing cardio too. I mostly just lift weights, but I do ride my bike to the gym. So like I usually treat that as like my cardio. So yeah, I think the only issue I have with this is that we don't go all the way back down. Oh yeah, but we were going to add that like um that timer to remove the hitbox. Hey, this is pretty cool. You can like add spikes in between, some dash orbs. This will be a lot of fun, I think. Yeah, for sure, man. It always helps when like you're doing that kind of stuff with other people. Um, yeah, I'm trying to get more out of like my comfort zone. I feel like I go through this sort of thing like every year where it's like, you're like, hey, I want to do more. Then you start doing it, but then it slows down. And then the next year you're like, hey, I want to do more again, and then it's like you're just repeating the same loop over and over again. But I mean, there's no problem with it. Like, if that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be. But yeah, creating more consistency with that kind of thing is something that I'd like to do. Going into, like I said, it's my birth. It was my birthday recently, and that's like the sort of like my personal new birth year resolution was to like do more shit. Apologize for the language. So yeah, we can add. All right. One other thing I'm gonna do with this elevator. Let's try instead of using this velocity thing on this timer timeout. What we're gonna say is collision shape dot disabled is equal to true, or is equal to not disabled. So let's just grab this collision box. Unready. Unready var. Collision shape is equal to that, and then collision shape dot disabled is equal to not. Okay. At the moment, this timer doesn't start at all. I think what we're gonna do is make this timer auto start. Um, we'll try it out at 0.5 seconds. Let me enable the collision shapes again. Bro, no offense, Runjin, but I think you have maybe some memory loss going on. It's already been my birthday, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this does kind of work. Only okay, so I think we'll have to increase the increments. Maybe when it's disabled, it should be enabled for longer than it's disabled, I think, so that we can get across. Wait, let me see. Oh yeah. Yeah. I hope I didn't offend you in any way. I was mostly kidding, but yeah, it's already been my birthday. You don't have to worry about worry about that. Yeah, for sure. And I think what we'll do is like when it is disabled, we'll get rid of the particles. But yeah, I think we do need to increase the increments a bit. Like maybe let's try 1 second. Or what we'll do is over here on timer, we'll match the collision shape disabled. Wait. first. Let's see. Set this to 1. Let me just see what it looks like with 1, and we'll go from there. Yeah, imagine you keep making it, you catch yourself in this loop of making the same. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency here. If we like disable it and enable it over and over again. Alright, so it might be fine if when we do disable it, we set the timer back to 0.5 seconds. Or maybe we'll make it 2 seconds. And then, okay, so let's do this. Have I ever used pedal curves? No. I actually, to be honest, I don't even know what that is. Let me look that up. Pedal curves. Pedal curves in terms of like adding velocity to the player, sort of like a tween, or like lerping, sort of. I've never experienced using pedals in game dev. Yeah, I think you might be right, Runjin. I'm not sure though. For pathing, pathing for what? So I'm looking like at a little chart right now. It'd basically be changing the velocity of something. The only thing that I've ever used that I guess would be similar to this is handling a moving object. So I have moving platforms in my game, and sometimes I would change the rate at which it accelerates, or the rate at which it increases it, or yeah, I guess accelerates. Yeah, we're all learning here. Game dev or programming. Okay, wait. It seems like we've done the opposite here. Let's go back here. So yeah, it does remove some. Honestly, I don't know if I even like disabling it. Unless, maybe, let me try this. We only disabled it for 0.1 seconds. At that point, it doesn't even matter. We don't have to disable it. The only thing I don't like about this mechanic is that, we get stuck right here. Maybe it's not an issue. But I'd like for the player to be able to go all the way back down. But maybe I'm just thinking too deep into it. We could just remove it. Yeah, let's comment all of this out. We'll get rid of. Yeah, we'll get rid of all of it. I think we'll leave it like this. Gotcha. By the way, poetry. I was just wondering, how'd you join the stream? Was it like on a YouTube algorithm? I did today. I actually posted like on some of my social media that I'm streaming. So I'm wondering if you came from there, or if you just happened to stumble upon this stream. Oh yeah, we were also working on this here. Like a moving spring. I mean, it's nothing revolutionary, but I'm probably gonna add that to the game as well. Like, put that in the level design a little bit more. So like handling circular movements would work perfect with something like that, I'd assume. Like right now, I'm just changing the global position of this, but it would be cool to give it some, like, right now it's like just very boring monotone movement. Just going back and forth. Oh, I see the Discord. Okay. Are you talking about solo dev? Alright, so honestly we added that new mechanic, and that was like the main goal of today. So either I wrote some things down. Can either work on some level design, like trying to implement this new mechanic, or let me see here. Gotcha, cool. Yeah, I wanted to work on better sounds, and like we do have like some assets that I haven't added to the game yet. I might just do that just because it's easy, it's simple. I can talk at the same time. It's not too stressful. So let's go into. There's like this new, or like a bunch of furniture that I need to add to the game. Some assets, and it'd be nice to like automate placing them, but that's gonna take too long. Is it this one? Furniture tile map. Yeah, it is this one. So yeah, we have like all of these new assets. I'm gonna put. Let me see here. How am I doing sounds? Mostly from. So I actually have like okay. So most of my sounds are downloaded from like Open Game Art or freesounds.org, and I kind of just edit them with like Audacity or something. But I do have a friend who's interested in the game, and he said he's actually made some pretty decent sounds, but he's really busy, so I don't know when he's gonna work on those. But yeah, right now it's all been from Open Game Art and freesounds.org. Yeah, those are like my go-tos. How am I putting into the game? Workflow? I'm not. What do you mean? I usually just add the files. Like I'll import like a dot. What is it? Dot wave file, and then just add them. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we mean. You know, it'd be nice to like split. Like we have so many assets now that I don't even know what to do with them. It gets a little overwhelming for our sheet here, or like for our tile map. Because then I have to like scroll through all of this. What we could do is like create multiple atlases. I've never worked with atlases though. Right now they're all just single tiles, and I just scroll through them here. If I want something in particular, I just plug it in. Alright, but let's go into our background auto tile, or what is it? It's called wall decorations auto tile. I think that's what I use for the most part. So you can have an audio player node that plays a sound, but it can't play something else at the same time. I have an audio object. Yeah, I do. Is that like not something I should be doing? I have an audio like here's how it I'm not going to like I don't want to share it too much because I know it's definitely probably not the best way to do it. But if you have any recommendations on how to do it, yeah, this is how I do it. So I have a sounds node, and this is where I put like, for the most part, this is where I just put the songs of our game, and then this is where I put like background sounds, and then this is just random other like warp out and warp in. Like this is for like when we click on UI stuff. And this is for like when we switch between scenes. I had to add it as like a singleton, just because like sometimes when you're switching between scenes, you need to make sure that these sounds still play. Yeah, this is a singleton. But then like for example, I also have my player node which has all of these sounds. Yeah, I didn't even think about adding it, like maybe just having one audio player. Do you know if that's how people usually do it? And then, like for objects, like a spring or something, I have the spring. I think I have our springs with their own. Like, if an object plays a sound by itself, yeah, we'll have the bounce sound. I see you're just trying to work it out yourself. Yeah, that's how I did it. I've done it. Like I said, I don't know if it's the right way or if it's like the best way, but it works. All right, so what were we doing? We were going to. Oh yeah, we were working on the background notes. Okay. If one audio player scene that in it you just say, "Hey, spawn an audio scene and audio path," and it plays and deletes itself. So min nodes as possible. I see. Okay. Yeah, that seems like a valid approach. I feel like, I mean, unless you're like very structured, unless you're not very structured with it, it should work fine. For me, like, I don't know, I'm always so disorganized. That's why I have like a lot of my code. Um, let's say we have moving objects. A lot of the time, I don't reuse the same code. Like you should, like in typical programming, you want to like create a class or like inherit something. But for me, every time I create something new, I just write more. Like I'll just write an entire script for it, which is not ideal. But I'm like, it's worked so far. But eventually, I definitely need to like refactor everything. I see. Yeah, I remember. But these days, you're saying these days it's wrong. I don't know if it's. I feel like it's probably more efficient, right? Because you're like, I mean, you're not wasting random nodes for sound, and you only have one sound. I mean, one node, whereas I have potentially infinite nodes. Um, I don't think your approach is bad, but like remember you said that you started watching that podcast with the guy from Quake, and he's like, yeah, like nowadays it's not about optimizing your game, or I mean like optimizing is like it's dropped down in the hierarchy of like importance. So like now it's more about releasing the product or releasing the game rather than optimizing your code. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Like it doesn't matter nearly as much to optimize anything, but it builds bad habits. Like I think I've built some serious habits that I need to like address soon because yeah, I shouldn't be like not caring, but I don't care. Let me see something. All right, so it's wall decorations auto tile that we use for our scaffolding and our wall art um and then like our cobwebs and stuff. So let's go over here. Let's go to the scene. Let's close our game. Yeah, I mean, I think it. I think that's like the typical like programming approach. Like I definitely don't feel right not optimizing my code sometimes, and that's why I have like these moments of like refactoring where I'm like, okay, let's sit back, let's not like work on any more mechanics, and let's start like doing this right. Like for me, it's about like just putting stuff out there as quickly as possible. And it's sort of like I'll test out a mechanic, and usually I'm just like, hey, I just want to see if this works. I'll write it up, and then I'll put it into the game. But then after it works, I'm like, hey, it works. Let's forget about it. That's usually like it's kind of like I'm lying to like I mean every time I make a new mechanic or something or like something that's sophisticated, I just rush through it and I lie to myself and I'll say, hey, I'll just do it later, but it never happens. But yeah, once I'm done with this final demo, I definitely want to refactor everything. And I mean, obviously, I'm never going to probably optimize like make everything perfect, but it's definitely going to be a lot cleaner. Like I mean, I don't have any like memory issues or what is it like the game is not slow or anything like that, but it does feel it feels ugly. You know what I mean? Like it feels wrong. Oh, if you like these types of conversations, I mean, definitely listen to more of the Lex Friedman podcast. He has like so many of these types of conversations with like other programmers. Although this is more like technical. I mean, it's not too technical. Like we're not actually talking about code itself, but yeah, there are a lot of similar conversations, like the one that we're having right now. That's on his podcast. You just gotta like sift through it. Yeah, younger generation versus. I actually like. So one of my friends, Commodore 64, he's the other admin on the solo dev Discord, and he uses Godot as well. And it's funny, like him working with me. It's like it's kind of funny because like he's always trying to. I feel like he's always trying to like optimize everything. We've done like a couple of game jams together, and like when we're working together, he's like creating like these beautiful structures and stuff, and I'm just here like smashing my keyboard, like trying to get stuff done. So I feel like he's like more meticulous, and I'm just like more like free form. If that makes sense. How old is he? I don't want to like I don't want to bring up his age. I don't know. I feel if he was here, I'd like for him to answer that. But I'll say he's close to your age, a little older than your age. Yeah, eventually, optimization does become automatic, as long as you're not dumb with it, obviously. What were we doing? I keep getting distracted. Like it's hard to have a conversation in code, but I'm enjoying it. So don't feel like you guys are doing anything to slow me down. Furniture. I believe it's this one. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think you'd love to have a conversation with him. We talk pretty often, so I'll let you know. We might have wanted to have a conversation today. I don't know. So he's the one that I'm. Remember? I don't know if you remember, but I told you about this project that we're working on, like on a website and stuff. And yeah, he's the one that I'm working with. I think it's perfect. Like you mentioned, like older generation versus newer generation. I feel like it's the perfect, like when you get the best of both worlds. Like even though working with him was a little hectic, because we have like different styles of programming or like just working on a project. It was kind of cool because like there might be things that he doesn't get well. He doesn't do well, and there are things that I don't do well, and it's the best of both worlds. All right, so we're gonna add all of these new cobwebs. Oh. No, don't sweat it, man. I'd rather have these conversations. Um, but yeah, I'll introduce you to him. He's a pretty cool dude. You guys would probably get along, especially since you guys are close to the same age. Oops. On branchless programming, that's a fantastic example of why you shouldn't over optimize. Explains perfectly how the compiler will optimize for you. Yo, send that link over. By the way, Poetry Flynn, let me know who you are on Discord. So if I ever see you post something, I know who you are. Unless you want to keep your uh, you want to stay anonymous, that's fine too. These chains actually look pretty cool. Another thing that I'm struggling with, because we're using like this black and white canvas, I don't know. It's been hard to like combine all of these assets together, because it gets a little crazy sometimes. Like you usually only want to use dark colors in the background and then light colors in the foreground, or like light colors for important objects. So all of these are usually dark, but then right now I'm like trying to make a parallax background, and it's been hard to create, because you have all of these. Like I only have like 4 colors in my game. Oh, you're okay. You're Fesh. Wait, we don't have to run anything yet. I might have to head out soon. Um, my grandpa's making dinner, so we'll see. I'll keep programming until I have to go. I'm just gonna test out these new assets really quick. We're not actually going to design anything yet. I'm gonna save that for like the last month. Um, I plan on releasing the final demo in December. So in November, that's when I'm gonna like. Hopefully, I have all the mechanics working properly, and that's when we're gonna just focus solely on level design. Oh yeah, for sure. I can already notice that, but I think we, obviously there is like there's a language barrier between me and him, but we communicate in our own ways. I think we both appreciate each other. Or I'd like to think so. Wall decorations, auto tile. Oh, we already have it. So dumb. So we got all these new paintings we can add. Some random rope stuff. Very cool. So yeah, what I was thinking of doing was like randomly placing these objects here, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll figure that out another time. I'll just put them here for now. You have so many questions. You could either ask them here, or I'm sure we'll be in a call in the near future. So you can save them for here, save them for later, ask them now. I'm not really doing anything important right now. I'm just messing around. I think I'm mainly done with the programming aspect of the stream. Yeah, I really like these background objects. I was also thinking about switching the colors. Like right now, everything is black and white, but I'm actually thinking of introducing some more colors. Like, making all of these background objects brown and stuff. Like maybe the majority of the game will be black and white, but like, adding some color wouldn't hurt. I wonder why this is invisible here. Strange. Looks like a box too. Like. Oh wait, no. I guess we just don't have anything there. Yeah, this was the parallax background that I was working on. Like, it looks cool. You can see there's a little issue with the parallax right here when we go up. Like, disappears. I have to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, the thing is, like, right now that canvas is sharing the same exact colors that we have in our foreground, and it just looks weird. Like, the contrast between the two. If I make it darker, it just looks, like, it's barely noticeable. So I don't even know what to do there. But yeah, adding different colors would help, like, differentiate the background from the foreground. Oh yeah, and this is with, I don't know, I think Renjin, you were here when I was working on this mechanic. I mean, again, it's nothing revolutionary. But yeah, I was thinking of adding like a bunch of these objects to the game, and it'd just be cool to, like, you have to catch them. Oh, did you see that? Like, as I went forward, or like as it switched directions, we kind of dropped for like a split second. Try it one more time. Yeah, we dropped a little bit. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. And we'll probably want to increase the speed a bit. Let's see. Oh! Yeah, this was what I wanted to work on the other day, which was I wanted to work on the camera movement. So I think what we'll do, we'll save that for tomorrow. That's going to be an exciting day. I think. I should have written that down. I'm gonna write it down right now. I recently cleaned up my room too. I think my room was relatively clean, but there's like a difference between like lightly cleaning your room and then like going on a full like spring cleaning thing where like I organized all of my files, I organized all my wires that are like hidden in the back, stuff like that. It felt good. Camera movement. Oh, I see. Yeah, they do something like that in Celeste, where like if you're on a block, if you like press down while you're on top of it, you'll push it. Like it's forced to go in a specific direction, but if you can basically manipulate its movement. I want to do like a combination of both. I don't want to. I don't want to like. The only reason why I didn't go with that was because I didn't want to copy Celeste. Oh, how are we back here? I must have restarted the game. Oh, damn. Sorry to hear that. But yeah, you should clean up your room sometime. It does feel good. There's this guy who's he's pretty controversial over the internet. Jordan Peterson. But he has like some decent advice on like getting your act together, cleaning up your room, stuff like that. But yeah, like the first step in like getting better in any situation, or I mean, it's good just to have is like cleaning your room. Definitely is the first step to all of this. Like working out, getting work done, setting good habits. No, there. You don't have to be sorry. I'm the one who recommended him or started bringing him up. There was actually he recently got interviewed on the Lex Friedman podcast. I don't really listen to like Jordan Peterson just because I've heard what he had to say. And like for me, I usually get bored of people relatively quickly. So like I appreciate what he has to say, but I feel like some people treat him. I hope this is not you, but I feel like people treat him like a god or something, But yeah, that's what happens when you get famous, But he's also hated. Alright, you gotta head out? Alright, honestly, this might be a perfect opportunity for me to head out. I don't think I have anything else planned. I do want to start working on the camera movement some more. But yeah, I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching, Ranjan. And for everyone else that's watching my stream currently. Thanks for stopping by, Fesh, or Poetry Flynn. I will see you guys around. Yeah, I mean that's with everyone. I even like Lex Friedman. I love the guy, but sometimes I get bored of him too. But yeah, I'll see you around. Have a good night.